Welcome to A Meaningful Marketplace.
I'm Sarah Masoni from Oregon State University's Food Innovation Center, where I've helped countless dreamers launch their new food products. It's the science of taking a food delight from the kitchen to mass manufacturing and still keeping its great taste. That's what I do. I've been called the woman with the $1 million palate, although I haven't tried to cash that check yet. Listen in weekly for real-life stories.
I'm Sarah Marshall, owner of Marshall's Hot Sauce and author of Preservation Pantry, modern canning from root to top and stem to core. I love inspiring business owners to get started on their journey, encourage folks to be part of their local community, and I'm excited to help business owners tell their stories. Hello, and welcome to Masoni and Marshall, the Meaningful Marketplace. We are here weekly to discuss the journeys of food entrepreneurs. We are glad you have joined us today as we bring you stories of hope and inspiration. This is Sarah Marshall, owner of Marshall's Hot Sauce.
And Sarah Masoni of Oregon State University's Food Innovation Center. Hi, Sarah Tomato.
Sarah Tomato. I know you must have watched my tomato Instagram.
I was like, darn it, she's doing an Instagram live and I didn't even notice.
Well, usually when I used to do those, I was doing like cooking shows, so it was very planned.
Regular.
But this time I just got on there and I was like, I'm going to tell people what to do with tomatoes because they probably have so many in their garden like I do.
We have so many tomatoes at our house.
Well, and then of course, Portland is being very Portland and it decided to thunderstorm and rain and hail right in the middle of our tomato season. So everybody had to get out there and take care of business before they lost all their tomatoes to the rain. So I picked I don't even know, so many pounds of tomatoes, so many. And so I just got on Instagram Live to tell people what to do with tomatoes. So if you need ideas, you can check
I do have a
Instagram
question.
Live. Yeah, what's your question?
So I noticed when you were putting your tomatoes down on your shelving that your dehydrator shelves are huge. What kind of dehydrator do you have?
Yeah, I have a commercial dehydrator. It's a Waring is the brand name. And I like it because it is low energy and low heat output. So in our small commercial kitchen space, if we use kind of the old school dehydrators, they just put out too much heat and then it makes it too hot for everybody. And also my refrigerators can't handle the extra heat in the kitchen. So that's the brand I recommend.
Where did you find that one?
That same problem. I got it from Williams-Sonoma because I do work for them sometimes in trade for items.
Yeah,
but I really love it. It's my favorite one. I've also had an Excalibur in the past.
That's friends with
another
benefits.
kind of yeah. Sometimes I'll go cook in their stores and then I get credit for things at the store.
Wow, that's really smart, Sarah.
Thanks.
Yeah, because most of the Excalibur, they have those little tiny shelves, which are, they're good enough, but
yeah, they're great, but they put out a lot of heat because the door just kind of hangs on it. It doesn't have a seal around it. And so these ones have a seal. It's just, better for my situation. Yeah.
Cool.
Maybe they'll add me and I can get credit if people buy them.
Never hurts to ask. Isn't
Never
that
hurts
called
to ask.
affiliate marketing or something like that?
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for watching my Instagram. Appreciate it.
Everybody can go check it out now.
Yeah, everybody can go check it out. I wanted to tell you that I saw one of our food friends, Elsie, at the farmer's market this weekend. She was one of our first guests on the podcast. If people want to go back and listen, she was on episode 10.
Ooh, that's a long
ago. She was just starting her business, but I saw her at the market. She has a bunch of new products that I didn't know about, so I thought maybe our listeners would want to know about them too. At first, she was doing pickles, so different cabbages and spicy habanero pickles. She's from Haiti, and her business is called Creole Me Up. And now she has these salad dressings that she's selling at the market, and I bought one of them. It's a cilantro avocado, and it's so good. Her stuff is nice and spicy, so for people that are into spicy, flavorful stuff.
She's doing a funding.
She's doing a crowd fund to get a new kitchen. So I just wanted to mention her. Find Elsie. Her Instagram is Creole Me Up. You can find her on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, all
and it's
platforms.
On my LinkedIn, Sarah Masoni. You can find the link.
Perfect.
So
invest. Yeah, go support our buddy. She wants to have her own kitchen space. She's been in business now for 7 years, and that is about the time that you usually need your own kitchen space. So she's trying to do that.
I'm grown up now. I
Yeah.
need my own kitchen
I need my own
space.
space. She's ready. So everybody go find Elsie. Creel me up. And we have been partnering with the Regional Food Business Center to bring you guests from the six-state region. We're currently meeting with business owners from the great state of Idaho. I would like to welcome our co-host, Janna from University of Idaho TechHelp. Thanks for being our Idaho expert while we meet all of these wonderful new friends. Janna, I'm glad you're back.
Hello, everybody. Glad to be back.
We are kind of coming to a close with our Idaho episodes. Next week is our final recording, and I just want to
Oh,
say it's been wonderful to have you as a
hmm
guest. And I feel like we've met so many great people.
Yeah, definitely.
Idaho has a booming food entrepreneurship area, so there's even more we haven't even got to talk to.
Oh
Well,
my
next
gosh.
season we'll have to
Yeah.
bring you back.
Yep.
Yeah, that would be super fun. We'd love to meet more of your buddies in Idaho. It's been really great. And we would like to encourage you to connect with your state by signing up for the Regional Food Business Center newsletter. It's a breeze to sign up. You just go to the Northwest Rocky Mountain Regional Food Business Center.com, hit connect with us, and choose the button to receive newsletters. And we want to thank our sponsor for supporting Masoni Marshall. Thank you for helping us spread the word about small business owners and entrepreneurs. Let's hear a word from our sponsor. The Northwest and Rocky Mountain Regional Food Business Center is the proud sponsor of the Meaningful Marketplace podcast, giving a voice to food from across the six-state region of Colorado, Idaho, Montana, Oregon, Washington, and Wyoming. The Food Business Center supports Northwest and Rocky Mountain food industry makers as part of the USDA's National Network of Food Business Centers, supporting a more resilient, diverse, and competitive food system as a go-to source for small and mid-tier food and farm businesses with a focus on underserved communities, providing education in the form of technical knowledge, business programs, and industry news. We sponsor trade shows, meetups, and conferences to connect growers, producers, retailers, distributors, and processors, all to stimulate business and raise the standards of our storied food industry. Join us as we travel through the six-state region, learning more about food makers, food hubs, and food systems. Visit the website at Northwest Rocky Mountain Regional Food Businesses.com to get connected. I have the pleasure of introducing our guest to you today, Jessica Norris. Jessica is the owner of Dilly's Pickled Veggies, making hand-packed pickles in Kuna, Idaho. We're delighted to have you on the show today, Jessica.
Thanks for having me.
We want to make sure to connect our listeners to you and give them the best way to follow your story. So can you tell everybody your social media and website, how they can find you on the web?
Yeah, Instagram is where we're most active. So it's Dilly's_pickles. And then website is www.dillyspickles.com.
Perfect. We'll make sure to connect people with you. And we always like to start at the beginning. So when did you start your business and what inspired you to start a pickling company?
Oh, well, so my business started in multiple stages, actually. So Dilly's proper, we're going into year 9. And before that, I had a small business that I worked on at like Boise farmers markets and working with a couple of farm stands locally. And the original one was mostly just out of my own house. And I was a new mom. I needed something to keep me busy. And honestly, it was right after the recession and we needed Christmas presents.
Mm.
So that's kind of what kicked everything off. And then Dilly's came about after taking the food safety course out at the University of Idaho with Josh Bevan. And he scared the pants off me with food safety. And he teaches a very terrifying class.
That's the Better Process Control School, right?
That one was just an introduction to food safety.
Oh,
Yeah. So he was very good about just explaining that botulism can kill everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And every food product can get botulism by some happenstance. So, or any of the other major food safety risks. And that really hit home with me of like, okay, I have to go 100% legit with this. If I'm going to go anywhere, we really need to be serious about this and make this a serious company. And so from there, we grew beyond farmers markets. And 9 years ago in April was kind of the starting point of me taking this serious and how Dilly's got founded.
So you
I
said beyond farmers markets. Can you tell our listeners what that means for you?
Yeah. So our big step from farmers markets came with Fred Meyer, actually. They had buyers searching local farmers markets throughout the Northwest about 7 years ago. And it might actually have been a little bit longer than 7 years ago, but they purchased some of our products and loved them and put them in their local program. So we did a local program with Fred Meyer. They were our first grocery store. Quite the learning curve to go from farmers markets to a regional store like Fred Meyer. And we ended up being the number one selling product on that rack for all 3 years that that program ran.
Wow, that's very cool.
Yeah, it was it was an exciting time.
You live in Kuna, Idaho. For our listeners who don't know much about Idaho geography, where is
Yeah.
that? And what's the food community like there?
So Cuna's a super small suburb of Boise. So I live in Boise. My production facility is in Cuna. It's about 15 minutes from my house. And the food scene is getting better. It is Boise itself, food scene is amazing. And now all of the small towns around us are getting a lot of their own independently run restaurants. We support quite a few farm stands out there by purchasing produce and also selling our products to them or making specialty products for them and their labels. And we also supply quite a few restaurants in the surrounding area in Cuna and Boise and Meridian. And it's growing like crazy. There's a lot of people who love to support local here. And the restaurants do really well, thankfully, when they support the farms and they're working with local producers. And yeah, it's a really good community for supporting that.
And do you still do farmers markets in the Boise area, or have you moved on to mostly doing wholesale?
I don't. Yeah, I've moved on to wholesale at this point. So I have three kiddos, and all three are very active in sports, and that now dominates my weekends. So I don't really have time to hang out at farmers markets, and unfortunately, I do miss it sometimes. And we get asked to do specialty events, which we attend, and we'll do tastings and store demos. But farmers markets, the dedication it takes to those is extensive, and I've grown a little beyond that with wanting to ship pallets and truckloads instead of selling direct, unfortunately. But
So you have your own cannery
I
where you
do.
produce?
I do. I have a 6,000 square foot production and warehouse in Cuna. Half of it is dedicated to manufacturing, and half of it is warehouse and storage space. It's been phenomenal having my own space the last 4 years that we don't have to worry about fitting into somebody else's schedule. And we can help out local farms if there's a surplus of produce that they have. They just call us, and usually we can pick up within 2 days and we can turn their surplus into a product that they can then turn around and sell the next season.
So you co-pack.
We do. Yes. Co-packing is kind of newer for us, but we try to help out local farms as much as we can.
So when you say local farms, I know you're talking about a specific region that is around where you are. Can you tell people about how you make that decision?
Yeah,
What's local?
really. What's local is driving distance for us. And if I don't have to order it on a refrigerated truck. So if we have tomatoes that are coming from Eastern Oregon, the Ontario Valley, or out of Fruitland, Idaho, which is about an hour-ish, hour and 15 from here, then it's easy for us to get there, pick up something, turn around and bring it back. Some of our cucumbers have come from like Boardman area of Oregon. We've pulled stuff from Tri-Cities. So we head east to Twin Falls or Idaho Falls and pick up produce sometimes. So it's just depending on which produce we're picking up and what the shelf life that is in temperature.
That makes
Cool.
sense. Once you get into refrigerated trucks, things get very expensive.
It does. It does. Yeah. And cooler space only goes so far.
Yeah.
How many square feet of cooler do you have?
Square feet. I can fit 8 pallets. I'm not
Oh.
actually sure square footage of it.
That's great.
Yeah, we can fit 8
Yeah,
pallets.
that's a lot.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, I have a game for you ladies to play.
Oregon State University's College of Agricultural Sciences and the Food Innovation Center are proud sponsors of Meaningful Marketplace. With a mission to serve all Oregonians, we are committed to giving voice to those whose food and agricultural stories are not always heard. By providing access and opportunity for a more diverse and just food system, because food brings people together. Okay, Sarah. I love it when you have games.
Okay, I have a game. Stakes are low. No pressure on this one. But we're gonna play a game. Is it a pickle? True or false? Okay. So I'll
Okay.
tell you something and you guys tell me if it's a pickle that you can purchase somewhere. So the first one, blue raspberry pickles. Is it a pickle? True or false?
False.
I'm going to say true.
Yeah.
Janna, what do you think?
I have no clue, so I'm just going to guess false.
Okay. The blue raspberry pickle is real. It's true.
Oh my
It is
goodness.
TikTok
Jesse has-
trending right now.
Oh, gee.
You can buy blue raspberry pickle pouches and make your own blue raspberry pickles. It is definitely not real food or anything like what you make in Idaho, but it does exist.
It's trending on TikTok. So
Trending
you
on
take a
TikTok.
pickle, you dump in blue dye, and suddenly have a blue
Pretty
raspberry.
much. It's like how
OMG.
people used to, back in a lot of the old canning books would have Kool-Aid pickles as a recipe, and you would soak them
Mhm.
in Kool-Aid and they would be like colored red usually was what it was. But
Yeah.
this is like what the kids are doing these days. Blue raspberry pickles.
I have seen pickle sandwiches lately trending.
Okay, next pickle. Is it a pickle, true or false? Frog balls.
Did you say frog balls?
I sure did.
That was my question.
Is it a
Oh,
pickle, true or
Sarah.
false? True or
I'm
false?
going to have to say
mean,
false.
I-
I'm
I
just gonna
might
stick
say-
on the
I'm a-
false train.
I'm inclined to say true
You're
because
the optimist here.
there's people pickle everything.
Yana, frog balls, true or false?
And I have no clue, and I did not get the first one right, so I'm going to switch and go true.
Okay. It's true. Frog balls
my
is a pickle, but it's not as gross as it sounds. It's just pickled Brussels sprouts.
We're working on those. I didn't know that's what they were called. Okay.
There's a company that sells them as frog
Okay.
balls.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Didn't have that marketing.
Yes?
I'm just gonna do two more.
Okay.
Pickled banana bread. Is it a pickle? True or false?
I'm sticking with false.
I'm
I'm
inclined
going
to
to
say
stick with
You
true.
probably make it with pickle juice. That's what she's going to tell us.
you probably, or the seasoning, you could probably take the seasoning and make a flavor of it. So I'll say true.
The acid would actually make the leavening really
Yeah.
explode, so
Yeah.
it'd be more puffy.
Yana, is it a
Yeah,
pickle?
I'm going with true. So far, the two have been true, so I'm assuming this one is as well. You can pickle anything, so I'm sure somebody has tried banana bread.
I made that one up. It's false.
Oh!
But you're right.
We made a good case for
We're
it.
going to try it. We're trying
Yeah,
that.
but then all I kept thinking about was like there are lots of things you could do to make it, but so far
Yeah.
nobody has a
You could
pickled
do
banana bread or pickled flavor as banana bread. Doesn't exist yet. So if somebody wants to create a new product,
Okay,
have
here's
at
how
it.
you do it. You could exchange zucchini and zucchini bread for shredded pickle, and then for your
Oh.
liquid, use
Yeah,
pickle
totally.
juice.
And you could use all the
Yeah.
spices from banana bread. But anyways, doesn't
Yeah.
exist yet. Have at it. I'm going to do
Innovative.
one final pickle, moonshine pickle. Is it a pickle? True or false?
Yes, true.
I'm just gonna have to say it's true because I've been wrong on all of them.
True. You're going with true, Yana?
I'm going with true. Let's just keep going.
Yep. There is a company called Old Smoky. They make pickled
Mhm.
cucumbers that they pickle in their own bathtub hooch. Not really made in a bathtub.
Moonshine.
Okay, well, thanks for being good sports and playing my game with me.
Hmm.
You all
That was
win.
fun.
You're all winners in my book.
That's funny.
Okay, Jessica, let's get back to your biz. And I would like to know which flavor of pickle tells your story best.
My story. Oh, I will have to say our garden jar because that one was so that our garden jar is actually our Sophie Award winning for 2023. We won
Nice.
Best New Pickled Product in the US. And that one was my, oh my gosh, my passion project for a while, trying to save end pieces of produce that we can't typically put into jars. So I throw it all into bins when we're doing carrots or jalapenos and we have extras. And then we had some extra cauliflower, and I was like, oh, that'll go great with it. So we put the cauliflower in there, and then we started playing with different flavors. And I happened to have some celery that I was testing out anyways for a customer. So we put it all into a jar and processed it and was like, this is amazing. And it's my kid's favorite. It's one of my husband's favorites. All of my friends loved it. And I was like, let's send this off to Sophie and see how it does. And that one, it was fun to make. And it was fun to just have that creative freedom of like, I want to see how this goes. Because asparagus, number one seller. Everybody loves it. It's a fantastic product. But the creativity of figuring out flavor profiles that went well together and texture and consistency of produce, that one was really fun for me as a producer to just be able to test a few different vegetables. And that one's actually leading me. We're making an escabeche. So it's most of those products, we won't have celery in it, but they'll be diced and same flavor profile, but it's more of Hispanic. My husband's Hispanic, my kids are Hispanic because of him. And it's more of like what their family would have. And so a little bit more personal for that aspect. But the
Is
garden
that
jar,
have a lot of carrots, the escabeche carrots and
it does. It will.
jalapeno? Yeah.
Yep. Carrots, jalapeno, and cauliflower. Mhm.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very fun. I like that you can make your family part of the process too and be celebrating them with each jar that you make. That's so fun.
Mhm.
There's a
Absolutely.
couple of things I saw on your website that I thought were really cool. You're part of the Women's Business Council certification program. Can you tell us
Yeah.
about that?
Yeah. So I am certified WBENC, and we're also a certified women-owned small business. We're 3 years into our certification for that now. I own 100% of my company. I am there every single day. I've been there every day this summer. I make all the decisions, which is it's not always easy. I have a lot of support from my husband in the fact that he's really good at just talking me through scenarios when we're looking like, okay, this is the direction. Like, what do you think of this product? Or I want to invest in this piece of equipment. And, but he's an engineer and he's not a pickle maker. He doesn't help in the kitchen at all ever. And he's really, really great at spreadsheets and has helped on the business side of that, just making sure that I'm organized. And yeah, but other than that, it's me. I have full creative control, and the process to be WBNC or woman-owned small business is pretty intense and extensive and requires a lot of paperwork. But it's very rewarding and it's paid off with quite a few of the accounts that I get. It definitely helps with recognition with larger corporations like Costco. And that has opened up a lot of opportunity for us.
And tell us about Costco
Yeah, I was
because
going to say, I want to hear about Costco.
yeah, I think you're our first guest that has been in Costco. So tell us what that
Yeah.
process is like.
What's up?
Oh, yay. Oh, Costco is actually pretty incredible to work with. So we sent our first test launch run with them in October of last year to the Midwest. We shipped 20 pallets and sales were exceptional. Pickles they're not a big mover at Costco, and we were warned that they don't move quickly. And so not to have high expectations of, just rapid movement or a lot of quick growth, because they're pickles. All sorts of people make pickles. They took our mild asparagus, and for a few days, we were the number one selling pickle product in all of Costco's. And we were only in 20 stores.
Mhm.
And that was pretty exciting to hear that our products moved so quickly that they made an impact. So we just shipped the last of 8 truckloads to them for a summer run that we did, again, for the Midwest. And we shipped 72,000 units to them over the last, well, we shipped them all over the last 6 weeks or so. But it took us all summer to produce them. And it was a very big learning curve for production for us, but we did it. And I really hope that we do it again soon. Since then, we have been reaching out and speaking with 4 other divisions, and we're hoping that they will place orders for this fall season and the holidays and do a test run with us again and see how that goes, because it would be great to be in more stores and more regions.
So mostly Costco has a special pack that they ask you to make. Did they have you make multiple jar pack or is it
Not
single jar sales?
This one was single jars. So yeah, we just did our 32-ounce mild asparagus and single jar. Another division is asking for a 2-pack. So we have a small, like multi-pack shrink wrapper, but we'll put something on a conveyor line and make it a bit more automated.
That's really amazing growth to go from making it at home in your home kitchen to filling truckloads full of pickles.
Truckloads.
That's so amazing. I'm so proud of you.
Oh,
Me
thank
too. I
you.
can't
Thank
believe
you.
it. It's wonderful.
Yeah, it was a learning curve for sure. We're still learning. There's still just so much coming out of it that, oh my gosh, it's a lot, but we're gonna keep on keeping on with it and figure it out and do better with each load and each PO. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with the results so far. We're selling really well again. And I actually just saw our product pop up on a Facebook page for Costco finds. And so
Wow, that's
someone
so
was
cool.
rating.
Oh,
Yeah,
yay.
yeah. So I love it.
So you make a lot of things besides asparagus. Do you want to give us the rundown?
Yeah. Okay. We do asparagus. We do green beans. We have cauliflower, carrots, jalapenos. We've got red onions. We have our garden jar. We do a small amount of cucumbers, of what people traditionally call pickles. Oh, we're starting with pepperoncinis this year. So pepperoncinis is going to be our newest pickle product, and we're about to launch those. And then we're also working on okra currently. That one's near and dear to my heart too, because it's what I grew up eating with my grandparents from the Midwest. So yeah, that'll be then one of the next ones.
We don't have much okra here
We do not.
in the Pacific Northwest. Like when you go to
Nope.
the South, you see it everywhere, like pickled okra, and you can get
Mhm.
it in restaurants and things. And I've only seen one farm in Portland at our farmers market that grows okra, and
You
nobody knew
need
what
it
to
for
do with it.
succotash. You need it for
Nobody-
succotash.
Yeah, nobody. I talked to the farmer afterwards because I bought it. I ended up buying a bunch at the end of the day and pickling it because he was like, nobody buys it from me. Nobody knows what to do with it. I will absolutely not grow it next year. And I was like, oh
Oh,
yeah, it's so
send him my
sad.
number.
Yeah, I
Oh,
know. Because it's
yeah,
delicious.
it is so good. It
I
is so
love it.
good. Yeah. Yeah. My grandparents were from Oklahoma and Arkansas, and I'm from Washington, Seattle area, but they always had it in their fridge, in their pantry, and there was always a jar out when the grandkids came over. And it's so, like, my cousins and I, that's what we grew up on. My cousins got to try some okra I brought some to my grandma's funeral last year, and kind of in honor of her, and everybody was just in awe of it. And they were like, this is my childhood. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So you can
That's
carry
great.
on that tradition. It's so nice.
Yes. Yeah.
Janna, have you been out to Jessica's facility?
Yes, many times.
Does she run a tight ship?
Yes, she does. No, it's great. It's great
Good.
going there. Jessica a while ago wanted to go through SQF audits because she had customers that were requiring it, right? So those GFSI standards. And so we wanted to help Jessica out. And so, but she's got her SQF and she's had it for multiple years, which is awesome because it's a struggle for smaller businesses
Yeah.
to
I was
get
gonna
those
say.
GFSIs, but Jessica's managed to maintain it for a few years now and she's doing great.
And
Yeah.
did you have to get that done, Jessica, to get into a certain store? Just so for our listeners that know, is that just something you wanted to do, or was there a store that required you have those in place?
It was a bit of both. So during COVID is when we started our process to get GFSI certification, and SQF made sense for us because we were going after a few larger grocers that we wanted. So for Fred Meyer, they kiboshed the local program because every few years Kroger will step in and say, oh, you need to supply multiple regions or all of Kroger. You can't just supply one region. So that's what happened. That ended the program for all of those brands that were on that
Yeah, that was
rack
sad.
program.
That actually killed a lot of brands.
It did. It did. It was very heartbreaking. And so Kroger, we approached them again and said, hey, if we can supply multiple regions or most of the Kroger stores, what does that entail? And they were totally for it. The problem is that we ran into, they actually ended up wanting to do private label with us.
Mm.
And it was COVID and their numbers moved so sporadically. Like at first, it was about 200,000 units annually. And then within a few months, the numbers had escalated up to 2.5 million units.
Holy smokes.
And it was,
Well, do you know why? A lot of the pickling has gone international, right?
yeah,
So that's caused a problem for retailers. They want local products. So
yeah,
there
I
used to
wish.
be pickling companies in every major city, and now there just aren't. They've
No,
all been
yeah,
they've all been collapsed and
no,
dismantled over the
no.
last 20 years.
Yeah, that's why Idaho needs you, Jessica. You're
I know.
You can
filling a
become
need.
the pickle baroness.
I'm trying. Yeah.
Multiply, multiply.
Yeah, we would have we had backers that were ready to help put in equipment and actually give us bigger spaces even because our facility wouldn't have been large enough for that amount of volume. Um, the problem became glass. We
Yeah.
couldn't get jars. And so we had to forego that project. But at that point, we'd already started SQF proceedings, trying to get everything set up for it. And I was like, I'm going to need this. We're going to go for it and we're going to keep it. And it has opened up a lot, like Costco. It's allowed us to have Costco as a customer. So it was absolutely worth it.
That's great. It's great that you got that process done and it helps you keep on moving.
Yes.
Sarah Marshall, are you going to do SQF now? Did she motivate you?
No. No, because I can't fill 8 truckloads worth of stuff from my situation that I have now. You know what? My kitchen's in the bottom floor of my house, so it is separate from my home, but it's very
Okay.
small and we don't have storage. So we try to just do enough to keep the business going, but I can't do
You
growth
can
like
do a
that.
pallet at a time.
I can actually do about 3 pallets worth of stuff at a time, like kind of
Oh,
in and out. Like we can send out 3 pallets of stuff, but that's max. Anything else has to be done elsewhere.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, if you ever need a space, call me.
I know, right? I was thinking about that.
Yeah. We have plenty of
Watch
room.
out.
Yeah, I know. Watch out. I'm gonna come knocking on your door.
I have other
Right.
people who might like to talk to you too. So
Yeah, please. We love it. Yeah. I just talked to a lady in Montana who wants help with processing peaches because she needs them for her product. So there's peaches that she buys right here in the Treasure Valley and I can help.
That's so cool. I love
Yeah.
when people in the food community meet and can help each other out. It's one of my favorite things.
Yes,
me too.
same.
Well, we do have a lot of listeners that are dreaming up a business. Do you have any advice for people that are currently planning to go into a food business?
I'd say find a good mentor, someone to help answer questions. Um, that was difficult at the beginning for me because I had dreams of scaling beyond the small. And realistically, that's how I met Janna and TechHelp, and their expertise and their direction really helped with that next jump. So find your local resources, find someone that you know that's a few steps ahead or leaps and bounds ahead. I'm lucky enough that one of my best friend's sisters owns a pet food company. And she allowed me to reach out, and I can text her at any time now. She's been my mentor for years, and I can text her at any time and ask her questions or for advice, or like with Costco, it was, how do you sign up for CHEP pallets? How do you get into that program? And what do I need to know? Or just all of the questions that come with that type of growth. You need someone there that you can trust, that you can ask those questions to and ask for help with direction.
I think a lot of our listeners might be wondering, okay, so what did you do before you became the pickle maven?
I was actually a PT assistant and for physical therapy and a massage therapist.
Ah,
Yeah. Yeah.
nothing to do with pickles, although I saw on one of the TV spots that they say if you eat pickled stuff, you sleep better.
Yes, we did have that with a TV. Oh, a host, they were back east and they asked for, yeah, our pickles because there's no sugar in our pickles.
Yeah,
And the vinegar helps with muscle
has
spasms
and
and
tryptophan. Yeah,
tryptophan. Yep. Yeah.
you were
We,
right there with a special light and a comfortable blanket
yes,
and your
that was a
pickles.
fun one. That was a fun spot.
Well, we want to make sure to send people directly to you to purchase pickles. So what's the best way that they can do that?
My website right now is the best way. We are getting set up currently on Amazon, but that takes time, and Costco took up most of my time this summer. So that got kind of sidebarred a little bit. I actually need to follow up because I do think we have 2 live products on Amazon, and I just need to go get the rest of them set up the rest of the way. But yeah, dillyspickles.com is the easiest way to order. And everything ships direct from our warehouse, usually by myself. And yeah, we can get things out all over the country.
Perfect. Well, we're so glad that you were able to come on the show today and we could hear about your story and connect people to you. And we love what you're doing. So keep making those pickles.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
We want to thank you for listening to our show. We love our food community and want to connect with you in person and online. You can reach out to Sarah and Sarah on Instagram at Meaningful Marketplace. And we would like to thank our team at Joy of Creation Production House. Thank you for helping us tell the stories of food entrepreneurs. If you want to be a guest on the show, you can email us booking@joyofcreation.com. And we'll be back next week, everybody. Thanks for joining. Bye.